Marinette sat in front of his grave, the rain pouring on top of her head, but she couldn't feel any of it. Her eyes were locked on the name engraved, dreading the very fact that the reason she was here was her own fault. "Give her some time," she heard her mother say, and a few seconds later, heard multiple footsteps on the damp grass walk away. Further and further until they were out of range, except one. One was coming closer and closer until she felt the slight force of the ground shaking next to her. Someone was sitting next to her, in front of his grave, and deep down, she knew who it was. But she couldn't muster up the courage to look. Yet, the mysterious person confirmed her fears when he decided to speak up. "I misread you, Marinette Dupain-Cheng," the voice sounding as stern as ever, yet very broken, told her. "I thought you only approached my son for an opportunity to work with me. But that was not the case, was it?" Marinette slowly lowered her head, her entire body shaking in despair. She didn't know what to say, what to do, how to do anything. She was frozen, locked in front of the grave of her victim. Yes, her victim. After all, it was her fault that he died, wasn't it? "Adrian often talked to me about you, praised your work as if it were his own, pleaded for me to allow you into our fashion shoots, asked me what gifts someone like you would appreciate." Gabriel spoke up again, and Marinette found it harder and harder to hold back her tears. "And he even confided in me about his feelings for you, something I rejected with my whole being at the time." Marinette's heart sank 10 times deeper than before, her body shaking harder and harder as she suppressed her tears. "Adrian was meant to be perfect. Getting into a relationship with an underclass would destroy that image," he spoke again, a hint of aggression in his tone. "And then I realized I was also an underclassman, until Emily came into my life and saved me. She was the light of my life, my everything. So you and we are very similar, in a way." I'm sorry," the poor girl whispered, choking up on her tears the more she listened to the man speak. "I'm so sorry." Gabriel looked at her, feeling his own stomach twist. He hated to admit it, but all he saw was himself, looking at his wife as she struggled to take her breaths. He, instinctively, wrapped his arms around the younger girl, then slowly patted her head, and looked back at the grave of his son that he had failed to protect, that both of them failed to protect. But there was a way they could both take back their failures, undo the mistakes they made. Gabriel knew that all too well, but he also knew that she knew. "If there was a way, I would do anything in the world to bring Emily back. That's how much I love her," Gabriel said, letting go of Marinette. "But the question is, Miss Dupain-Cheng," he slowly turned to look at her, his eyes both desperate and aggressive, "would you do anything to bring Adrian back?" And then it hit her. The question struck Marinette like 1,000 knives to her. Marinette stopped breathing, her eyes widening in realization. She was wearing his Miraculous on her ring finger. She had her own Miraculous on both of her ears. She had the power to bring him back. She had the power to save him. She could save him. So why isn't she? "Bring back my son, Ladybug," Gabriel pleaded, his own tears streaming down his face. "Please, bring him back."